You're standing in line at the airport, holding your bags, checking your ticket. Everything feels normal. People are moving. Announcements echo overhead. Nothing seems out of place. But a few feet away, someone has already noticed you. Not your face, not your name, just small signals. The kind you don't even realize you're giving off. The way you shift your weight, how tightly you hold your bag, how often you look around. To you, it means nothing. To them, it means everything. Because airport thieves don't guess. They don't pick at random. They watch, they wait, and they decide, fast, sometimes in less than 10 seconds. And here's what most people never realize. By the time you feel safe enough to relax, they've already made their choice, especially if you're over 60. Not because of your age alone, but because of certain patterns, certain behaviors, signals. Signals that quietly say, this person is easier to approach. This person is less likely to resist. This person won't see it coming. And the most dangerous part? Some of these signals feel completely normal. You've probably done at least one of them already. But the third one? That's where things usually go wrong. You're walking through the airport, one bag on your shoulder, another rolling behind you, maybe a small one in your hand. It doesn't feel unusual, just travel. But to someone watching, it looks very different. Because the moment your hands are full, your attention is split. You adjust one bag, the other drifts slightly behind. You stop for a second. Now you're blocking your own view. And that's all it takes. See? Our thieves don't need force. They need opportunity. And being overloaded creates exactly that. There's a reason most incidents happen in places like security lines, check-in counters, baggage claim, busy, noisy, distracting. You're focused on moving forward, not on what's happening behind you. Now imagine this. You're lifting your bag onto the security belt. You turn for just a second, maybe to grab your phone. And when you look back, something small is missing. Not everything, just enough to hurt, because taking everything draws attention. But taking one thing, that often goes unnoticed until it's too late. And here's what makes this signal even more dangerous. It doesn't look like a mistake. It looks like normal travel behavior, which is exactly why it works so well. Oh no, but this next signal, it's even easier to miss, and it tells thieves something far more important about you. You stop walking just for a second, not because anything is wrong, just to check your boarding pass. You look up at the screen, then back down again. Gate number, time, direction. It's a small pause, barely noticeable, but to someone watching, it stands out immediately. Because confusion isn't just a moment, it's a signal that says, you're unsure, you're distracted, you're not fully aware of what's around you, and that's exactly what they're looking for. Thieves pay attention to movement, flow, confidence. People who walk with purpose are harder to approach. But the moment you hesitate, even slightly, you break that pattern. Now you're easier to read, easier to approach, and more importantly, more likely to accept help. That's where it usually begins. Someone steps closer. Need help finding your gate? It sounds harmless, friendly even, and in a busy airport, it feels normal to say yes. But that one interaction is sometimes all it takes. Because while you're focused on the conversation, your attention shifts away from everything else. Your bags, your pockets, your surroundings, and that's the real moment they're waiting for. Not when you're walking, but when you stop thinking about risk. And here's the part most people never question. Not everyone offering help is actually trying to help. But the next signal, that's the one that turns a simple moment like this into a real opportunity. It usually starts the same way. A small moment of uncertainty, then someone steps in. Let me help you with that. It feels polite to say yes, almost automatic. You didn't ask for help, but now it's there, and refusing it, that can feel uncomfortable. So you let them hold your bag, or guide you, or point you in the right direction. And for a moment, it feels easier. But this is where things quietly change, because the second someone else takes control, even briefly, you lose something important: control of your space, your timing, your attention. And that's exactly what they want. See, experienced thieves don't rush. They build trust fast. A calm voice, a helpful tone, a simple gesture, it lowers your guard almost instantly. Now imagine this. They take your bag just to assist. They move slightly ahead of you. You follow. For a few seconds, everything feels normal. Then something small happens. A distraction, a quick turn, a moment where your focus shifts, and when you look back, they're gone. Or worse, they're still there. But something inside your bag isn't, because the goal was never to help you carry it. The goal was to get close enough without suspicion. And this is why this signal is so dangerous. It doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like kindness, but in the wrong hands. Kindness becomes access. And once someone has access, they don't need force. They just need a moment. But what happens when you're not even interacting with anyone and you're still being watched? That's where the next signal begins. You're waiting at the gate, tired, maybe a little bored. Your phone buzzes, a notification pops up. Connect to free airport Wi-Fi? It seems harmless. Everyone does it. But to someone watching, it's another signal because it shows how distracted you are, how easy it is to influence your behavior. Public Wi-Fi isn't just slow. It can be a doorway. A thief doesn't have to touch your bag to steal from you. They can steal your information, passwords, bank accounts, personal details. And that small QR code on a poster or flyer? It's the same story. You scan it without thinking, and suddenly your phone is compromised. All it takes is one click, one moment of inattention, and now they know more about you than you do about them. It's invisible theft. No grabbing, no shoving, just opportunity. Here's the scary part. Most people think the physical world is where the risk is, but thieves now combine physical observation with digital access. They watch your hands, your screen, your pockets. And sometimes what you voluntarily hand over is exactly what they need. So while your eyes are glued to your phone, your bag, your wallet, your identity, everything can quietly slip away. And this signal isn't obvious. No one sees it coming. But the next signal, it's the one everyone can actually spot, if only they paid attention. You reach your gate and settle in. Your bag is open just a little. Your wallet peeks out. A phone slides to the side. Maybe your passport sticks up just enough to be noticed. To you, it's nothing. You're just grabbing a snack. But to someone watching, it's an invitation. Thieves are experts at spotting easy targets. They don't need to force entry. They only need access. Visible valuables are like a neon sign. Take this. Go ahead. Even something as small as a ring, a watch, now or a phone on the armrest. It signals opportunity. Here's the truth most people miss. Thieves observe behavior first, items second. They watch how you carry things, how you organize your belongings, how quickly you notice when something moves. If your bag is sloppy, open, or within reach, you just became easier to approach, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. One small distraction is enough. A spilled coffee, someone asking a question, a sudden announcement. When your attention shifts, they strike. And because the items were visible in the first place, it's fast, clean, hard to trace. Even airport security cameras can't stop a thief who acts in seconds. The danger is that most travelers think they're careful. They zip their bags sometimes. They glance around sometimes. But a small lapse, that's all it takes. And this next signal, it doesn't involve your belongings at all, but it tells thieves even more about your vulnerability. You're moving through the terminal, people everywhere, announcements blaring, kids running, carts rolling. It's noisy, busy, chaotic. And you start talking to someone, maybe a fellow passenger, maybe a stranger asking a question. You're polite, you engage, you laugh, you nod, you give directions. To you, it's normal, friendly even. But here's the catch. Every second your attention is on someone else is a second you're not watching your bags, not watching your pockets, not watching your surroundings. Thieves know this instinctively. They look for distraction, for that moment when your focus is elsewhere. One thief may bump into you lightly, another may linger nearby. It's coordinated, silent, almost invisible. And because airports are chaotic, you barely notice. That's why distraction is so dangerous. It's not about aggression. It's about timing. A conversation, a smile, a question, all small, natural human behaviors, and yet they can create the perfect opening, even for someone who thinks they're careful. And while you think you're just being polite, your behavior is silently broadcasting. I'm approachable. I'm distracted. I'm unaware. And this next signal, it's not about distraction or confusion. It's about choices you make before you even leave the airport. Choices that can make all the difference. You've made it through security, or maybe you've taken a shortcut. Someone waved you over. Fast track, private service, quick exit. It sounds convenient, tempting even. But here's the problem. When you bypass official systems, when you follow someone who isn't supposed to be guiding you, you're sending a signal louder than any behavior inside the terminal. I'm trusting. I can be influenced. I want convenience over caution. Airport thieves notice this. They notice the people who think rules are optional, who follow the easy route. Taxi scams, fake ride services, even quick, helpful guides. They rely on this. Your focus shifts to convenience. Your guard drops. And just like that, the moment you thought was safe isn't. Because here's the chilling truth. Thieves combine all these signals. They don't just watch one thing. They watch patterns, behaviors, small choices, from your bags, to your posture, to the phone in your hand, to the shortcut you take out the terminal. Everything speaks. And by the time you think, I'm careful, I've avoided the obvious mistakes, you realize someone may have already decided your risk level. Even before you boarded your flight, the signals don't lie. They don't need force. They need attention. And what happens next depends entirely on whether you notice them. Because the moment you stop noticing is the moment the opportunity appears. And one final signal, the one almost everyone misses, could make all the difference between leaving the airport safe or leaving with something missing.